Shelf life 16. Okay, we're late. Let's go. How's that look? How's that look? Thanks, little guy. We are late. This is the 2024 reading recap. It is very early in the morning and it is Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas. I have a very packed schedule coming up. And I know with the eye and everything, Sunday wasn't really the best for filming. And give the people what they want. Give the people what they be brave. Be brave. Get out there. They want your reading recap before the holiday. So, with that being said, with all the obstacles in the way, let's do this. Let's do this. 2024 was quite the reading year. It was quite the reading year. Like I said, I'm sorry. I just woke up. Double coffee with some leftover hot chocolate in it, with an espresso on top, with a little bit of stevia. Coffee's a mess. Looking good. All right. Let's just think. I planned a little bit. All congested down here all of a sudden. Bet that sounded great. All right. This year was kind of weird in that I took a break at the beginning of the year. 2/3 of the way through the year, I started a booktube channel. I read a lot of books. I didn't read as many as I was hoping to, but it was more than I would have years past. So, all in all, successful year of reading. Are there other things on the list I wish I would have read? Yes. Such is life, you know? So, 2024, I remember I was on the cusp on 2023 of finishing Camus' The Stranger. That didn't make the cut for this year. I think it was like 2 days before New Year's. And right after that, I got right into this is it plus digitals plus audios, what have you. But I got right into Giovanni's Room. Giovanni's Room was the first one I read of 2024. Different kind of book. Definitely had the artistic jazz counterculture. Like it just it had a vibe. Um TikTok and Instagram and everyone in the reading space recommended this. That's why we have it. I really liked it. I also, after that, I really liked it. Let's just slow down. Really liked it. Come on, man. It was a love story, and it was tragic, and it was just kind of an emotional mess. That's what I got from Giovanni's Room. Not necessarily my favorite book of all time, but I definitely see why it's a lot of people's favorites. Um, After that, I don't know if I'm going to do these in order. Might as well. After that, I moved on to Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness. This was another one of the let's check it out lists here on the internet. While reading this, this is about like a riverboat that goes to Africa, and it's about colonialism and yeah, all that, all the fun baggage that goes along with colonialism in Africa back in the day. But I did not know that this was the inspiration, or I don't know what the right word is right now. It's like 5 in the morning. But Apocalypse Now, Apocalypse Now, and the crazy, oh, way too early. The crazy gentleman, the crazy leader, Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando disappears into the woods. It's the same as this captain of the colonialism ship, the Belgian, Dutch colonialism ship. Oh, excuse me, guys. Grotesque. Sorry. Apocalypse Now. This book, it definitely has that swampy, creepy, summer middle of the night, eerie. Oh, yuck! And then at the end, it's just apocalypse now, madness. So that was a good start to the year. I do not have a copy of the next book I read. I read Richard Brautigan. I have a copy. It's Lent right now, and I don't have it for the fun of the video. Richard Brautigan's Trout Fishing in America and Watermelon Sugar. There's a couple of them. It was like a compilation book. That dude, that's permission to write. Like if you ever wanted to be a writer, I would highly recommend Richard Brautigan. He, I'm not gonna say it. No F's given. That dude just lets it rip. We can have rhymes, we can have alliterations, we can have stories, we can have free jazz verse. What is happening? Richard Brautigan. I am a perma fan. Like that dude rules. Like that's like punk rock and fly fishing and awesome, awesome. Richard Brautigan. I'm gonna be finding some more of him. Don't have him in the stack right now, but oh well. After that, I don't know how to say the name. Dejunia Barnes Nightwood. I read Nightwood. It was on the David Foster Wallace syllabus list. I gotta say, I couldn't hold on to that one. Like it was not up my alley, and that's okay. It's okay to have books that are just not my favorites, and I've had a number of them that are still on this list that are not necessarily my favorites, but Nightwood for me was one of the first books I tried to sell. Well, that's when I was like, we can't just be filling up shelf space. I want my own uh, curated bookshelf. Let's see if we can put some stuff on eBay. That being said, I might look at it again later. I read a lot of good things that like pulled me into it, but it was also just it's not my jam. That's okay. After that, I read. It's out here. I'm gonna start popping these out. I'm gonna show you guys these other ones because they got some pretty covers. Let's start it over again. James Baldwin, Giovanni's Room. I really like that cover. I'm drinking wine on a terrace. Cool. Heart of Darkness. This was a creepy cover. Let's get into it. Look at that. It's that guy doing like misery push-ups. What's happening here? Then I read. What did I just say? Play it as it lays. Joan Didion. This book was really cool. This book was about the throes and the scum that is Hollywood and the 60s, 70s life that is in that, like the dregs of high society. Like, and I didn't know who Joan Didion was, but after I started reading who Joan Didion was, I quickly learned who Joan Didion was and is. Ryan Holiday has her desk. That's pretty cool. And yeah, I will be returning to Joan. Joan was fun. Excuse me again. I'm all congested, and but the show must go on. With the microphone, have a little more coffee, guys. It's just like hitting me all of a sudden making this video. Oh, sorry. Happy holidays, by the way. Also, like and subscribe. I see that there are returning. I'm doing the pointing. There are returning viewers that are unsubscribed. You're not subscribed. You need to hit the button. Hit the button, please. Please hit the button. We're looking for button pushers here on this channel. After that, I read Don Carpenter's Hard Rain Falling. This this book is possibly the book of the year. Don Carpenter's Hard Rain Falling was so gritty and raw and real. Like that book was freaking sick. I know, not a lot of whole in-depth analysis with a lot of these books. It's going to be a lot of off the cuff. This is how I feel about this book. First thoughts. Hard Rain Falling, dude. Rules. Absolutely get it. It's about, pretty much some youngster degenerates who hang out in pool halls and have no real direction in life in the Pacific Northwest and early America, trying to find their way, and they get into a lot of trouble and learn quite a bit. Excellent book. NYRB book. I read mine on my phone, stealth style, all digital. After that, onward and upward. I don't think I have it down here. Do I have it down here? Where is it? Oh, there it is, right in my face. Walker Percy, The Moviegoer. And I already mentioned Ryan Holiday. This was also on the David Foster Wallace syllabus list, The Moviegoer. And this is about a coming of age tale, I guess. It's about a young guy in like the Louisiana area. He is a stockbroker or something, and he's kind of just floating through life, and he's allowing life to happen to him, and he's not really taking charge of it. He's a bit of a womanizer, and he has a couple of wacky relationships, and there's some mental health issues going on here with some family, and I found this relaxing. A little bit of work to get into, but there's a lot of good undertows and a lot of good lessons and a lot of good things to be said in this book. Big fan. Back to the list. See, I wrote it down. I was prepared for you guys today. Journal, write things down, analog style. What happens if, there's a sun flare and your phone explodes? After that, I was introduced to our new fun friend, William H. Gass, with Omen Setter's Luck. This was like walking through the fog in Ohio, and it's like early Ohio, Midwest church community. Omen Setter comes to town. Like, get into William Gass. I'm currently reading The Tunnel. Don't start with The Tunnel. Start with this so you get a flavor for this guy. Omen Setter's Luck. Excellent book. I don't know if it, maybe, I don't have the taste for it, but it's not beating Hard Rain Falling this year. Hard Rain Falling right now is the winner. After that, let's see. Yuck. Oh, that's what I did. Steinbeck, first edition. The Moon is Down. This was awesome. I wasn't even talking into this. Steinbeck, The Moon is Down. Not much of a cover. See, there you go. See that in the light. Sick. Uh, First edition. I read this in a weekend. This book was awesome. I've always loved Steinbeck. Remember I read The Pearl and a couple other things, maybe one or two other things, but I always liked him, but I never gave him the time he deserved. And I feel like The Moon is Down was my own way of finding Steinbeck. Oh, he's gonna be a returning visitor on the Shelf Life show. What I read after that, I read Death in Spring by Mercé Rodoreda. Translated, I'm supposed to say translated, from the Catalan by Martha Tennant. Death in Spring. This book was bizarro. This was bizarro. This was like this was just tripping, and if tripping was normalized, like as this is how we all go to work, we're all tripping, and it's just such, and it's a shorty, but this book was so crazy. I the grief that it will send you into, and then it's a slow crawl out of the pit that you've been knocked into. That one was Death in Spring, and then I read Dostoevsky's White Nights here on the phone. I love him. He's the best. I'm waiting for a couple of these other chunky ones. We'll talk about these later uh, in the future, but Dostoevsky, after The Count, I think I'm going to read The Brothers. So I read The Yellow Wallpaper. I heard a lot of fun things about that, and I read that digitally. It was short. I think I read it in like a whole morning. I think it was only like 40 pages or something. But it was about again, mental health, Victorian age, Victorian time, and how women were dismissed uh, in that era, and how mental health really wasn't taken seriously, unfortunately. But if you're looking for a quick read, The Yellow Wallpaper, creepy. Then I read Renata Adler, Speedboat. This is a cool cover. Another NYRB, right? Got to show it off. This was really good. Again, the David Foster Wallace syllabus. I didn't know much about Renata Adler. It was an interesting way of writing. What was this called? Compilation writing? Quick cut writing? I forget what this is called. There's a term. Ah, but it's in this. This is the style that's in. Uh, it's like a detached journalist, writer who becomes a character in the story. New York City, Algiers, Egypt, Spain, all over the place. Cool chick. I don't know. I really liked it. Let's stay in order. Then I read The Willows, Algernon Blackwood. I think that's the dude's Algernon. I remember that. That was like some underground H.P. Lovecraft nature horror right around Halloween. Exceptional. Exceptional. Guys, I gotta get better. This is gross. For the shelf life. The Willows. Then we slowed it down by getting big. Oh, this is all gonna fall over. McMurtry. Lonesome Dove. Look at that thing. This has some heft, some weight to it. Uh Lonesome Dove is considered to be, a lot of people consider it the great American novel. It's Shrugmore. Love the loft of this book. And check out the sparkles. Brown book with sparkles. Beautiful. And I haven't seen a lot of people with this edition. I loved Lonesome Dove. It was the longest book I ever read in a month. It was great, but it was like watching TV. It was like it was like Vikings, like an episode of Vikings. It was just like one after the other after it just pulled you right in. It was a story, it was a saga, but it wasn't the work. It's not this kind of work. You know what I mean? And I've been over this. We've discussed this. It's not the tunnel. It's TV. You know what I mean? It's a western. It's Tombstone. It's Lonesome Dove. It's something to get excited about. If you need a break from life, read this book. I'm never excited to get into like a western or a saga like this, but when I do, it's just like, why don't I do this all the time? Like, this was an excellent book. And again, we hopped onto this because it was also on the David Foster Wallace list. So, Mercury. Then I couldn't take it anymore. Right, we're on track. Yeah, I went straight to the smallest book that I could find. Clarice Lispector, Hour of the Star. Again, someone I just want to dip my toes into and check out their writing. Uh, I guess this isn't the best translation, but we're going to be checking out quite a bit of Clarice. I'm intrigued by her writing. It is, again, free form and raw and emotional, and just, I like it. There's a lot of grit there. I think then the last book that we finished this year was White Noise. This was kind of like the absurdity of being on mushrooms with normal everyday life, and things are so absurd, but they're not addressed. Like, it is like life in neon. And DeLillo, man, big fan. I like what he's doing. What is it? Libra. Libra's the JFK one, right? Now I want to read it. I just, my TBR, man, it's so long. It's just never ending. And then we will be finishing for the end of the year. I'm not going to finish the count, but we will be finishing the tunnel this year. Guys, thank you for sticking with me. I think it was like 17, 18, including the tunnel books this year. It's not necessarily the goal I wanted, but things happen. It's life. Just smile. You read a whole bunch of books. So thank you for joining. And I mean, let's recap. We've done 16 episodes of Shelf Life. Thank you guys so much for your support. I've become a better reader. I've become more knowledgeable about what I'm talking to. I, I'm more consistent with my reading. It's considered. It's a part of like my psyche now. And I have to be on here and thank you guys for giving me all this feedback and encouragement and support. Support. So overall, it's been an exceptional year. Next one is going to be even better. Again, thank you for sticking with me through my fun congestion and beautiful pink eye. And sorry again that this was late. It would have been worse. And yeah, enjoy your holiday. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I will see you before New Year's again this week. Late or not, we're not going to push anything back because we have to talk about the TBR and all the fun changes that will be happening here on the Macaroni Books page. Until then, eat, drink, be merry, have fun, read a ton of books. Much love, and we're out.